Derek Bakker, the naturopath. Thanks for coming back. I read a very interesting study published in September last year, and there was a lady involved, a Professor Ann Hoang, and what this lady had done is she'd been studying the effects of arsenic, in small amounts of arsenic in water that rats were taking up, and it was changing their microbiome. It was really dramatically changing how the bacteria in the gut were. So what she did is she started to do a study looking at infants long term. And this study was conducted in New Hampshire, which I think is on the east coast of America, northeast coast. And New Hampshire is a place known for having a lot of arsenic in the groundwater, and naturally occurring arsenic, but it also gets into water. And also into private wells, and there are a lot of private drinking wells in New Hampshire apparently. And what's been happening is, of course, people are drinking this water, including pregnant women and nursing women. So this is getting into babies, and they're noticing a change in the microbiome, in the pattern of the children. The arsenic is a microbiome disruptor. It actually kills different microbes. So my recommendation is for people living in New Hampshire, or in fact anywhere, is to get a water filter, right? A good quality water filter. A water filter is amazing because it's going to take a lot of crap out of the water, including chlorine, fluoride, and also heavy metals, PCBs, dioxins, junk like that. You don't really want to keep drinking that every single day. So the take-home message is to be careful if you live on the east coast of the United States, particularly New Hampshire, and also maybe to get the water assessed to see if there is arsenic in there. If you're concerned about your own health and you've got a private well, you can get the water independently assessed by a good lab. And if you think that you may have health incidences, particularly if a report is showing a higher level of heavy metal in the water, for goodness sakes, get a hair analysis done, and that could often show something interesting. I've got a patient I'm working with at the moment, and we took a sample of his head hair because this man's improving, but we're not quite getting there. He keeps relapsing, and the head hair showed very little, but this particular person's had multiple Ayurvedic treatments, which had me really suspicious. So I requested a pubic hair sample, okay? And guess what we found? We found a huge spike of mercury in the pubic hair. We also found elevation of copper, which is quite typical for heavy metal contamination, because we get a sequestration. So we get a competitive binding affinity there between copper and the sulfhydryl attracted metals like mercury, arsenic, cadmium, and lead. They're attracted to a particular protein on the cell surface, okay? But copper has got a very high affinity also for that particular receptor. So copper levels go up in the hair. So if we see an elevated copper and an elevated heavy metal, we generally know, or we've got a good idea, that the patient's got a heavy metal problem. And then we can go further and we can do a provocation test to provoke the patient with a substance to see if he or she is going to dump a large chunk of metal, and then we've actually found a culprit there, haven't we? We found a potential trigger for bad health. So, to cutting the chase, don't let your children drink water if it's contaminated. Get the water checked if you've got a well, and if there are health problems in the family, get some hair analysis done to ensure that there are no heavy metal contamination in the people that you love and care about. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, click on the link below if you want my free Candida report. Thank you.